Hi there, I'm Kevin Benedict, SAP Mentor and Enterprise Mobility Analyst, reporting live from Las Vegas in the Venetian here at TechEd 2011. And I have with me the Vice President of Enterprise Mobility for North America, Matt Schwartz with SAP. Matt, thanks for joining us.
Hey, I'm glad to participate.
So let me ask you, what is different this year than from last year in the area of enterprise mobility?
I think over the last couple of years, IT was really dictating to the users what tools and what applications they would have to use to be successful. And what I'm really seeing is the consumerization of IT across the board and absolutely happening at a rapid pace in mobility.
What do you mean by that?
Well, it used to be IT told you what you could, what
Right.
you had to use. Well, now the users in the enterprise are telling IT, no, don't tell me what I should be using. I'm going to tell you this is what not only do I want to use, but here's my expectations from you, and this is what you need to meet. So IT organizations have had their paradigm, their world just completely turned around, where now instead of being in any chance of a proactive mode, they're being very reactive right now and trying to be able to answer and be able to deliver on what the enterprise users are asking for. So they're coming to me now saying, Matt, help. This mobility freight train has left the station, it's coming down the track, and I need to find a way quickly to get out in front of it so I can not only deliver to the enterprise but exceed their expectations and turn it around from a reactive mode to a proactive mode so I can come to them with mobile options that I know are going to meet their requirements and satisfy their thirst for mobile applications.
I'm doing a survey on my website right now, and one of my questions is who's driving mobility, business or IT? And by far, business is driving
Absolutely.
mobility and the demand for mobility, and IT is reacting to that demand.
And that's not a place they'd like to be in.
No.
Right? So, I think what we're seeing now is lots of organizations coming to SAP and other systems integrators and saying, look, I need to be able to quickly come up and formulate a way in which I'm going to be able to deliver enterprise mobility applications to my user base. Now, it's one thing if you're a software company and you're in the app development business and you know how to do this and you have
Right.
methodologies and the people in place to be successful. It's another thing if you're a consumer products company, maybe in a small town in the Midwest, where hiring people with Objective-C and Eclipse and HTML5 is not going to be that easy.
Right.
So overwhelmingly what we're seeing now is the need for a managed services offering where customers can basically outsource their entire mobility development to another organization.
So 69% of companies surveyed on my survey on my website, mobile enterprise, mobileenterprisestrategies.com, 69% say they're looking to outsource all of their mobility, or at least considering outsourcing mobility. And the greatest majority are also looking at cloud-based mobility, which I also found was interesting in that survey. So what has changed this year from last year in what you're communicating to customers?
Sure. I think it comes down to that instead of having a very narrow focus around mobility, because technology is changing so rapidly, it's really about looking at cloud coupled with in-memory technologies like HANA, with our business objects acquisition, so mobile BI and mobility into a single stack. Because what you're really trying to do is you're trying to solve a business problem. You're trying to transform an organization's enterprise by using mobility as the catalyst for that transformation. And just looking at taking an app from on-premise to on-device isn't going to get you there. So it's how do I transform, how do I change complete business processes and do things that I couldn't do before because the technology didn't exist, and now do it with mobility. Just to add though, 69% of the folks said they want to outsource, but I think we've got to be very careful with that to ensure that they still need to have accountability internally. So we still recommend that customers build a center of excellence to have a combination of both IT and business people working together to determine the prioritization and the stratification of what applications should come when to have the greatest impact on their organization. And if they don't have the skills in-house to help them with that strategy, they should definitely get that expertise outside of their organizations and incorporate strategy and expertise, internal COE, and the outsourced environment. Having those three silos or pillars are going to allow them to be more successful.
Absolutely, I see the same thing. I have a slogan that I've been using a lot lately, which is technology without an application is useless.
Sure.
An application without tactics and strategies is wasted. So you really do have to have that combination of technology and business strategy, and that business strategy is not coming from the outside. It needs to come from the inside. Matt, thank you for sharing with us today.